Hello, welcome to my Zone Online School. My name is Linda Shipanga, and I'm not alone. I'm with Pomwene. Welcome, Pomwene. And let's always remember to put on our masks. And we should always sanitize our hands in between the fingers as well. And do not forget the social distance. So today's lesson will be, it's Science Grade 7, Health Education, Sexuality, and Sexual Health. All right, let's turn to page 23, where we'll be looking at our basic competencies. So by the end of this lesson, you should be able to discuss and compare methods of maintaining sexual health. And you should be able to identify risky sexual practices. And you should also be able to describe the impact of risky sexual practices on the individual, family, community, and society. Now, the vocabulary, these are the words that the new words that you have to learn. Risky, the word risky means involving the possibility of something bad happening. Impact, the influence that one thing has on something else. To maintain means to keep something. Now let's look at the methods of maintaining sexual health. As you can see on the chalkboard, we have different pictures on different methods of maintaining sexual health. The first one is abstinence. To abstain basically meaning to say no to sex. To all the sexual activities, you should totally abstain, you should totally say no. And then we move to the next one, is faithfulness. You must be faithful to one trustable partner. In this method of maintaining sexual health, if one or both of the partners are not faithful to each other, and then they have sexual intercourse with somebody else, which is, for example, unprotected sex, then they can contract an STD or STI, which is sexually transmitted infections, and then they can pass it on to their partner. So this faithfulness is mostly suitable for married couples. And then we move to condom use. So we have different types of condoms. You can find the condoms at the clinics or hospitals. And then we have two types of condoms for male condoms, and the female condoms, which are called the femidoms. So you can still make use of the condoms. The condoms act as a barrier between the two partners. Just the same way as the doctors are putting on gloves to protect themselves and their patients from getting germs, it works the same way. So the condoms traps sperms so that they do not go to the next person. The sperms do not enter the woman, so she will not be able to contract any infections, and then she will not be able to fall pregnant. Among these three methods of maintaining sexual health, abstinence is the best and the most effective method. And you should actually abstain. All right? Now, let's quickly turn to page 24, whereby we'll be looking at the risky sexual practices. What are risky sexual practices? These are actions that put you in danger and that have a negative impact on your sexual health. What are these risky sexual practices? Sex without a condom, multiple sexual partners. When you have more than one sexual partner, for a boy, maybe you have three girlfriends, or for a girl, you have maybe two boyfriends, for instance, and you are having sexual intercourse with all of them. Those are multiple sexual partners. Sugar daddies and sugar mummies. Let's look at the sugar daddies. What are sugar daddies? Sugar daddies are older men, much older men, that usually engage into sexual relationships with much younger girls. They give them money and they give them gifts, and they have sexual intercourse with them. Sugar mummies are older, much older ladies that have sexual intercourse or sexual relationship with much younger boys. And they give them gifts, they give them money, and all sorts kind of things. Sometimes they even give them a lift to school in their cars. And then we look at the sex workers. Sex workers, these are people that sell sex for money. They go at the lights, for example, the robots there, and then they find men. They get into their cars according to what they have agreed on, and then they get into men's cars, and then when they go to their place, have sexual intercourse with them, and then they get paid for having sexual intercourse with different kind of men. And those activities are very risky because now you're having sex with this person, having sex with another person. Imagine you having sexual intercourse with 5 different kind of people. It will be so difficult to tell each one to put on a condom. Okay, you come to this one, put on a condom, at the end of the day, you are like, I'm getting used to this one now. And then it's not always easy to convince like each and every person to use a condom. At the end of the day, you might just end up having unprotected sexual intercourse, and then that's really, really risky. Let's move on to the impacts. These are physical and emotional impacts of risky sexual practices on the individual, on the family, community, and society. When you engage in these risky sexual practices, it doesn't only affect you, it affects your family, it affects the community, and just the society at large, your neighbors. What are the physical impacts? Death. You can die. When you contract diseases like HIV, you might die. And then it also leads to spreading of diseases. You pass the disease to this person and then to the next person, just like that. It also leads to unwanted pregnancies. And the other impact as well are looking after a baby of a sick person. Now you are sick, your parents or your neighbors or just your family members have to look after that baby because you are sick. Or when you have died, now people have to look after your children or your baby when you have died. It can be the community, yes, or your family members. Now, what are the emotional impacts? This is the hurt of feelings. When you are, for example, when you are sick, it affects people. People are hurt. Everybody's thinking about it, and it affects them really badly. Okay? So now that's our lesson on different kinds of methods of maintaining sexual health, risky sexual practices, and the physical and emotional impacts. Okay, so you should be able to do this activity on page 25. Quickly go to page 25 so that we can look at this activity. A, discuss and compare methods of maintaining sexual health. Discuss and compare methods of maintaining sexual health. Those are 3 methods that I want you to answer there. At B, identify risky sexual practices. C, describe the impact, be it physical and emotional altogether. These are the impact of risky sexual practices on the individual, on the family, community, and society. Okay, let's quickly recap on our lesson for today, which is sexual health. And then we looked at the methods of maintaining sexual health, which is abstinence, faithfulness, and condom use. And the risky sexual practices are sex without a condom, multiple sexual partners, sugar daddies and sugar mummies, sex workers. The impacts, or be it physical or emotional, of the risky sexual practices on the family, individual, community, and society. It can lead to death, spreading of diseases, unwanted pregnancies, and looking after a baby of a sick person or a dead person. And this can also lead to hurt of feelings of family members and just the community at large. I hope you have enjoyed today's lesson. So let's not forget to always wear our masks, sanitize, and then do not remember the social distance. As from me and Pomwene, it's goodbye.
Hi everyone, I'm Shashi, And Simon says, don't touch your face, your eyes, your nose, and your mouth unless your hands are super clean